There are only 38 mainstream supported accommodation places for young people who have left home in Lancaster and Morecambe. Young people under the age of 18 and without a guarantor or person to pay the rent if they fail to do so are not able to get a private or council tenancy. Most private landlords will not consider renting to young people under the age of 24, and if they do, they often ask for a guarantor, a deposit and an administration fee. Why do young people become homeless?
Arguments with their parents, because when you're old enough, you have an argument with the parents. The first thing they say is if they've had enough, is right, you're moving out. Because when you're young, you can't say that, so they've got to say, right, you're grounded. But as soon as you mature, the first thing that'll come out their lips, if you have an argument, is move out.
Abuse from families. I just wanted to move on. Money problems and drug problems.
Sometimes because of drug problems, drinking problems, problems at home, getting into trouble all the time, fighting.
A lot of messing about with parents and stuff like that, going out drinking and stuff on the weekends.
Most young people become homeless these days around family issues. Most of the kids these days divorce parents. They get stepdads in who just can't put up with them because they're only young and they have a lot of issues, and they get thrown out onto the streets because the mother loves the father, the stepdad, and she goes over the stepdad and takes him on and throws the kids out.
The day I left home, I felt happy as I was living with my dad. I didn't want to live with my mum anymore as her boyfriend used to physically abuse me and my brothers. Unfortunately, I couldn't live with my dad for long as it was impacting on his life. He worked as a bus driver and didn't get home till late. This meant I had to depend on myself. I couldn't cope with the pressure, so I started to get rage attacks. When my dad said he couldn't look after me anymore, I felt alone, like it was just me in the world. He dropped me off at social services, who said they would contact my family to pick me up. 2 hours later and still nothing. I decided that it was up to me and snuck out of the building to go to my friends. Luckily, I had some money my dad gave me, so I got onto the bus. I arrived at my friends scared as I did not know what to do. Later on that night, social services came around and took me to Lancaster, where I moved into foster care. There, I was very happy.
Where can young people go if they find themselves homeless?
If the young people in Lancaster facing homeless, they can go to the YMCA or they can go to Ad Action, who refer them to us and we'll interview them here. And if we think that at the top of the criteria, and that means if they're on the streets and they're living in the cold and they're not living with friends, we'll take them in straight away.
Connections, that's where I went to. Basically, you go in, tell them what's actually happened, why you've been kicked out and stuff like that, and they'll ring a few people up and see what they can sort out. They will sort out a place for you to go. Well, it's very helpful.
There are 3 mainstream supported accommodation projects in the Lancaster and Morecambe area. Portland Street is a 6-bed emergency, by referral only supported accommodation project for young people aged 16 to 24, run by the YMCA. Young people receive support and advice and are helped to move to more permanent accommodation within approximately 2 months.
Basically, it's emergency housing, so if you get kicked out, it's somewhere for you to go to, sorted, somewhere to, live.
People usually say 3 months, 4 months max, but they try and get you out earlier.
I've been here for the past 2-3 weeks. Longest I've ever known someone to be here for is about 3 or 4 months.
It has helped me, it's made me become more independent.
They find a place to sleep each night, but if they don't find anywhere to sleep, you'll find that they'll end up on the streets and living in tents, and that's why we get them in here as quickly as possible.
2A High Street is a 7-bed supported accommodation project run by Adactus Housing. It is open to young people aged 16 to 24, however 4 of the places are taken by referrals from Lancashire Children's Social Care Services. Young people receive support and advice and are assisted in moving on when they are ready.
My opinion on 2A is it's quite a good idea, because if it wasn't for 2A I don't know where I'd be, because I had no idea where I was going to go before I came here. I was living with my dad, and then I had to move out just because there was lack of space and stuff. So I moved in with my nana, but my granddad said I could only stay there till January. So I went to Connections and spoke to them about it, and they referred me here, and I got an interview, and just, a couple of weeks later they told me I could move in.
Morecambe Foyer is a 25-bed supported accommodation project for young people with low to medium support needs. Young people live in shared flats, 5 young people sharing a kitchen. They receive support and are encouraged into education, employment and training. Young people are helped into more permanent accommodation when they are ready.
The foyer, it's been up and running now for about 10 years. It's generally a really nice place to live. You get your own bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. Everyone that lives here gets along with each other. But it's like having your own little family.
I work with residents and support them to develop the skills they need in order to live independently. So it may be that they're having difficulties at home, they're having problems and relationship problems with family, in which case they'd just like to be able to kind of move away from that, to rebuild the relationship. So sometimes that is it. There are other situations whereby they may just want the kind of that step, that they want to be able to move out on their own, but haven't as of yet kind of built up the necessary kind of skills in order to manage a tenancy on their own.
This is our football medal that we got from SAHA Cup, where we finished 5th. There was about 40 teams involved, and finishing 5th over all the country, pretty good, I think.
I got my my hairdressing somewhere. I've got my second NVQ level in hairdressing up here, which the foyer helped me work through.
Sawyer has recently moved from the foyer into his own flat. He was supported by staff from the foyer who helped him achieve the skills needed to live independently.
I moved in about a month and a half ago. I got £100 worth of vouchers from the council to help me with my decorating. I decorated it myself, and one of my mates also laid the carpet. It's made a difference in my life that I never used to be able to look after myself as good. They give you the basic skills that you need.
We think youth homelessness is a problem in the Lancaster and Morecambe area. There aren't enough different types of supported accommodation in the area. There is very little suitable emergency accommodation, and there is a lack of further permanent accommodation to move on to.